Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nasta Praeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiti. Hare Krishna. Greetings. So we will be reading from Canto 3, Chapter 4, Text 30. Today is Friday, March 10, 2023. And we will start by reading the words. Asmat.
Asmat.
Lokat.
Lokat.
Uparate.
Uparate.
Mai.
Mai.
Yanam.
Yanam.
Mat ashrayam.
Mat ashrayam.
Arhati.
Arhati.
Udava.
Udava.
Eva.
Eva.
Adha.
Adha.
Samprati.
Samprati.
Atmavatam.
Atmavatam.
Vara.
Vara.
Asmalokat uparate.
Asmalokat uparate.
Mai jnanam madashrayam.
Mai jnanam madashrayam.
Arhatu dava evadha.
Arhatya dava evadha.
Sampratyatma vatam varaha.
Sampratyatma vatam varaha.
Asmalokat uparate.
Asmalokat uparate.
Mai jnanam madashrayam.
Mai jnanam madashrayam.
Arhatu dava evadha.
Arhatya dava evadha.
Sampratyatma vatam varaha.
Sampratyatma vatam varaha.
Asmalokat uparate.
Asmalokat uparate.
Mai jnanam madashrayam.
Mai jnanam madashrayam.
Arhat udava evadha.
Arhatya dava evadha.
Sampratyatma vatam varaha.
Sampratyatma vatam varaha. Asmalokat uparate. Asmalokat uparate. Mai jnanam madashrayam. Mai jnanam madashrayam. Arhatyudhava evada. Arhatyudhava evada. Sampratyatma vatambara. Sampratyatma vatambara. Asmalokat uparate. Asmalokat uparate. Jnanam madashrayam. Mai jnanam madashrayam. Arhatyudhava evada. Arhatyudhava evada. Sampratyatma vatambara. Sampratyatma vatambara.
Does anyone else want to chant? Okay, let's proceed to words. Asmat.
Asmat.
From this universe.
From this universe.
Lokat.
Lokat.
Earth.
Earth.
Uparate.
Uparate.
Having disappeared.
Having disappeared.
Mai. Of myself.
Of myself.
Jnanam.
Jnanam.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Mat ashrayam.
Mat ashrayam.
Concerning myself.
Concerning myself.
Arhati.
Arhati.
Deserves.
Deserves.
Udava.
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 Eva.
Eva.
Certainly.
Certainly.
Adha.
Ada,
directly,
directly,
samprati,
samprati,
at the present moment,
at the present moment,
atmavatam,
atmavatam,
of the devotees,
of the devotees,
varaha,
Vaha,
foremost.
foremost.
Translation. Now I shall leave the vision of this mundane world, and I see that Uddhava, the foremost of my devotees, is the only one who can be directly entrusted with knowledge about me. Purport. Jnanam mat ashrayam is significant in this verse. Transcendental knowledge has three departmental divisions, namely knowledge of impersonal Brahman, knowledge of the all-pervading Supersoul, and knowledge of the personality of Godhead. Out of the three, transcendental knowledge of the personality of Godhead has special significance and is known as Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana, specific knowledge of the personality of Godhead. This specific knowledge is realized by pure devotional service and no other means. Bhagavad Gita 18.55 confirms this. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yashasmi tattvataha. Only persons engaged in devotional service can factually know the transcendental position of the Lord. Uddhava was considered to be the best amongst all devotees of that time, and therefore he was directly instructed by the Lord's grace so that people might take advantage of Uddhava's knowledge after the disappearance of the Lord from the vision of the world. This is one of the reasons why Uddhava was advised to go to Badarika Ashrama, where the Lord is personally represented by the Narayana deity. One who is transcendently advanced can gain direct inspiration from the temple deity, and thus a devotee of the Lord always takes shelter of a recognized temple of the Lord in order to make tangible advancement in transcendental knowledge by the grace of the Lord. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with a torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Svamin iti namine. Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavari Paskatya Desha Tarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, text 30 of chapter 4, canto 3, we have Shukadev Goswami speaking, and he is speaking the words of the Lord, of Krishna, and who says, now I shall leave the vision of this mundane world, and I see that Uddhava, the foremost of my devotees, is the only one who can be directly entrusted with knowledge about me. So in the previous verses, Srila Prabhupada was there discussing why Uddhava is going to Badarik Ashrama, because he got direct instruction of the Lord to go there, and that's the way that the pure devotees act. They simply follow the orders of the Lord. So that was the response why he remained on his own. And then here we get to know why he was the one who was entrusted by the knowledge of the Lord. And it's here in the verse Samprat Atma Vatam Varaha, because he was the foremost of the devotees at that moment. So he was capable of understanding the Lord. So the Lord was speaking to him. In a similar way, in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is also able to understand the Lord because he is his devotee. And here in the purport, we get to see the distinction that Srila Prabhupada is making between the three departmental divisions, and one can have knowledge of impersonal Brahman, knowledge of the all-pervading Supersoul, Paramatma, and knowledge of the personality of Godhead. And the knowledge of the personality of Godhead has special significance. And here it's Prabhupada says it's Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana, so specific knowledge of the personality of Godhead, which is only possible to acquire by pure devotional service. That's the only way, and the other paths remain on the material platform. Like one can get the understanding of impersonal Brahman through some philosophical discussion, some philosophical thought. He can try to distinguish these things that cause him pain, because then it is more about this is not the Satchit Ananda experience that we are seeking, and he tries to seek the other end of the material experience and tries to hide himself in the impersonalism and voidism. So that's the impersonal path. And klesha adhikara tarastesham avyakta asakta chetasa. So that path is avyakta hi gatir dukham is very difficult then if one has this conception of spirit, that spirit is just a negation of matter, to come to the true Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana, to the true spiritual understanding, and that is the understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to come to the point of real joy and pleasure and love. And I was yesterday listening to Srila Prabhupada's class, and he was explaining this point, that one who is on the platform of the knowledge of the personality of Godhead does not fall down, because he is connected with the true enjoyment, because varieties is the mother of enjoyment. So Prabhupada was quoting this saying. So that's the safe platform. The other platforms are more or less trying to avoid the material pain, material suffering. So that's the special significance of the knowledge of the personality of Godhead. And of course, one who knows the personality of Godhead knows the goal, knows the sense, and so that he can explain the understanding. He can effectively spread the knowledge, because if I don't know why, what's the sense, what's the goal, then I'm not able to explain what's really the goal, what's going on. I cannot explain the true understanding there. So yes, and yesterday we've got a class. We've got a Czech Bhagavad Gita class, and I'm leading the class while Eladini Shakti is in Vrindavan. So we were discussing the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And in the first verse, Krishna says, Mai Ashakta Mana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya. So the same word is there as in this verse, Mat Ashrayam. And Mat Ashrayam here, it's translated as concerning myself. And Mat Ashrayam can be also the one who takes full shelter of the Lord. So Krishna in the beginning of the 7th chapter says that here I will explain to you how you will be able to fully understand me, and how you will be able to achieve full Krishna consciousness. And then he starts explaining the both the spiritual world and phenomenal world, because in order to achieve the full understanding, we need to understand both. We need to understand both, because some people might try to understand the spirit without understanding the human context, and that understanding is then incomplete. So then Krishna in the 7th chapter, he goes and explains how everything is situated in him, and how we can experience him even in this world. So that's part of the complete understanding of the Lord. And that's the sign of the Bhagavata, that he is constantly in the spiritual world, even though it might seem that he is in the material world. Okay. In my personal reading, I'm starting the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and it starts with the pastime of Maharaj, of King Priyavrata. Priyavrata is a son of Swayambhuva Manu. And he is a big devotee of the Lord, and his devotional service is like that. He's meditating in trance on the Gandhamadana hill, and then there is a great need to get a king of the universe. So he is visited by Lord Brahma. There is also Shiva. There is Swayambhuva Manu, and there is also Narada. And Lord Brahma is explaining to him that he should basically give up his devotional service and engage in a different devotional service, because that's the order of the Lord. And he explains how everything goes according to the order of the Lord. And yes.
Hare Krishna. Looks like Yogesvara Prabhu, I took myself off mute. Yogesvara Prabhu, his connection there from Czech didn't work. Hare Krishna. Well, I was absorbed in what he was speaking for those. Oh wait, looks like Yogesvara is sort of coming back. Hare Krishna, Yogesvara Prabhu. Like you disappeared for about 4 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. The internet connection here is bad, so I changed it. So now I'm connected through my phone.
Okay.
So it will not fall. Sorry for that. Hare Krishna. So lastly, I was speaking about Maharaj Priyavrata.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Fifth canto, first chapter. Yeah.
Yes. So that's my reading now. So he serves as an example, and yes, like one should have the understanding both of the material world and the spiritual world. According to the order of the Lord. So even though it might not look spiritual, if it's the order of the Lord, then we should follow. Yes. And here in the text, I want to go back to the words. There are some important words, but I've lost the text. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, so we've discussed my jnanam mat ashrayam, and there is also Samprat Atma Vatam Varat. So there is a similar verse, Tat idam grahayam asa sutam atma vatam varam. So these are the same verses. So Vyasadev gave the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam to his son Shukadev, because he was the topmost of the realized.
We have lost Yogesvara again. Yogesvara Prabhu disappeared. It seems that where they live, the internet is not very stable. Maybe they're in the snow. Oh, no.
Okay. So yes, like the notebook disconnected from the phone and connected back to the computer, and the computer lost connection. So I think now, hopefully, the computer will keep to be connected to the phone. Sorry. So a few days ago, I've received an invitation to visit and ambassador of Argentina in the Czech Republic. So I was like, what's that? What's that like? Because he saw one of my investing videos. So, but I have no idea what I will be speaking about, because he wants to know about my outlook on his country. And I've replied to them that I don't have like much of an outlook. I don't follow that country. So I was in the mood, okay, so I will not go there. It will be just waste of time. In the end, I connected with, okay, Prabhupada wants me to go, because Prabhupada would go, I guess. So let me find out how can I be of service of self-realization there. So I'm still in the process. The meeting is next week. So maybe I will discuss that before economic development. There is a stage of
Very interesting topic, isn't it? Going to see an ambassador who wants to know about investment for his country. Argentina's economy is going down. It's quite so destabilized, all South America, but Argentina specifically. And then Yogeshwar doesn't even want to absorb himself so much into that, and he wants to make Bali, but he doesn't want to not go either, because Prabhupada will go. So that's an interesting direction to go to Dharma before Artha. Anyway, I'm eager to hear more, but Yogeshwar Prabhu is having more difficulties with his connection.
Well, it does sound like an exciting opportunity that he's invited, even though he didn't try to get invited, and shows that, well, it seems that Yogeshwar is regarded as a top economist in Czech.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's an exciting opportunity.
Hare Krishna, Yogeshwar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I'm so
I don't know,
eager
like,
to hear.
yeah,
We're just saying it sounds like a very exciting opportunity, even though you did not seek the opportunity. But yeah, and it's like I appreciate how you're connecting with like that second verse of 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Ginam Teham Savignam Vidam Bhaksham Yashachata Yaj Get Fanyo Get Tabyam Vishishi. About like there's noumenal, transcendental, but then the phenomenal, and that's like Ishopanishad, not knowledge and nescience side by side, and so you're whether you like it or not, you're regarded as an economic expert in Czech. So you're looking at, oh, okay, so you can shine the light of dharmic knowledge in this area, and the ambassador of Argentina is seeking you out. Sounds like an exciting opportunity on behalf of Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Yeah, like sounds like fine. Sounds like fun. We shall see. I will see what he is about. Okay. So yes.
You were speaking about before economic development come, and then you got frozen.
Oh no, religion. So I was thinking that like people in Argentina, they are Christians, or they should be Christians, something like that.
Catholic.
Yes. So they are probably more Christian than people in the Czech Republic, who are like atheists. So I might think of something like that. But maybe I will just, I was just thinking, okay, so maybe help self-realization, not for the nation, but just like be there with the person, with the guy. It might be better than trying to say something like big words, nonsensical for him at that point. So yes, so that's the practical application. And we here have the examples, then we can try to follow. And the more we engage in the devotional service, the more inspiration we get. Within ourselves, and also the inspiration to spread Krishna consciousness. That's the goal. That's the goal. So Hare Krishna, thank you for your patience. I will read the verse once more, and then discussion will open. Maybe I will connect with more ideas. Then Asmalokat uparate maigyana madashrayam arhatudava evada sampryat atma vatam varaha. Now I shall leave the vision of this mundane world, and I see that Uddhava, the foremost of my devotees, is the only one who can be directly entrusted with knowledge about me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Yogeshwar Prabhu, thank you for your class. I was just thinking about your ambassador, and I was thinking it reminds me of when Srila Prabhupada arrived in Chicago, and what I think he met with someone, I think it was a journalist, but it may be someone, the government, I'm not sure.
Well, he met with a police lieutenant, a top officer in the police department of Chicago.
Yeah, so it reminds me of that story, how, like the lieutenant was really focused on crime. And Prabhupada didn't say, oh, I don't want to speak about crime. He said, yes, we can save crime and you can save the economic situation of Argentina. Just give me a temple there, give me a big building and I can save. And then you bring what is name, Krishna Keshor and Arjuna Prabhu and it was fun to think like that because it reminded me of that situation with Srila Prabhupada. Because he didn't say, no, I'm not going to speak about crime. He said, yes, I can do it. And all the crime situation, all the economic situation can be solved with Krishna consciousness.
Yes, thanks. Thanks for that. Yes, yes. Yeah, like maybe like we first want to know what is the problem that those people are trying to solve, right? And then the response is the same, but the way of the response might be different.
Yes, we want to know what's the problem of people, and it's a material problem, and there is no material solution. So yes. That's clear.
Yes.
And I appreciate your approach because sure, there's the meta approach, solving the big problems, but then it was also very clear, like sometimes Prabhupada would be in a TV interview or a newspaper like that. And so sure, it was like Prabhupada would respond to the questions, but it was very clear, at least to Prabhupada's followers, that Prabhupada was talking to the interviewer as a conditioned soul and just intentional to create value for that, like really wanting that person to understand. And apart from maybe the TV interview would also go to millions of people or tens of millions, like that, that's there. But Prabhupada was, so I got that in what you shared, that, okay, maybe what you'll share will transform the economy of Argentina to a more sattvic platform, but whatever, but you'll be talking to this conditioned soul in the position of ambassador to create value for him, representing Srila Prabhupada.
Yes. Thanks for that point. Yes. Hare Krishna. Yes. Yeah, like often or sometimes I've been like staying with like explaining some principles, not really speaking about Krishna directly, just sharing like the principles of the material world, of the phenomenal world. It's part of the knowledge, and then one wants to know more. So yes, I'm like 100% open. I also got an invitation to an investing podcast in Czech, which is one of the biggest, maybe the most prestigious one at the end of March. So we shall see what I will create there, but I will just be there. I will be just talking more about my work, and maybe I want to create an intention that I will like be mentioning the principles of like samsara, dhavana, lalita, loka. That's good beginning. Often, yeah. And like yesterday in the Bhagavad Gita class, we were reading the 12th verse of the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna there explains that in him are the three modes of the material nature. So we've been reading those verses, and the participants there like were like saying like that I'm getting like a sudden inspiration to improve my chanting. I'm having like a sudden inspiration to connect more deeply with the Lord. So it was quite an experience, because we were not talking about the text. We were not like talking about the modes, but Krishna conscious discussion was there too. So that was interesting to see, like how all these are connected together.
Mm.
Yes, we were discussing like how to get out of the drama of life. So if I have an experience that I, let's say, have a commitment to chant at least 8 rounds each morning, and I have the experience, and even after that, that was what one participant shared, I'm still like in the drama of my life. So my response was that, like, what helps is the understanding of the philosophy. So that's the philosophy explained in the 7th chapter, that nothing can happen without the supervision of the Lord, that we are not in control and things like that. Yes, because most of the drama comes from that I want to be in control of the things that I have no control over. So this like understanding of the philosophy, like quite a lot of it is in the Sattva 3 experience. So that also helps, like from distancing myself from the drama of life. And then, of course, like we also discuss the chanting and the quality of chanting. And it was nice because the participants came up with this discussion themselves. So there is a different quality of experience based on the mood of the chanter. So these are just some small points from our fruitful yesterday's discussion. Okay, are there any more points, sharings, questions?
Srila Prabhupada is clearly referencing Bhagavatam 1.2.20 there in that second sentence of the purport. Out of the 3, transcendental knowledge of the personality of Godhead has special significance and is known as Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana, specific knowledge of the personality of Godhead. He's referencing that verse, Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana Bhagavat. It ends up Mukta Sangasya Jayate. Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavat Bhakti Yogata Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana Mukta Sangasya Jayate. Situated in sattva, then one is one experiences positive experience of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the stage of complete real. So that in that verse from this first canto, Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana, Prabhupada translated as positive scientific realization when the mind is enlivened and transcended. So I'm just making that connection. Prabhupada's directly quoting from the 20th verse of the 2nd chapter of the first canto, and giving I'm just giving the same purport in different words there.
Yes, thanks. Yeah, like the positive understanding in a distinction like from the negative understanding of the impersonal Brahman, right? Because it's like the a negation of the material experience. So this is positive understanding. So thank you for this. I did not got that insight. And I have a game for you at the end, maybe at the end. So it's now the game. It's a brainstorming. So I want to hear from you Sanskrit words that contain the word Atma. Atma. Because here we have the word Atmavatam, and Atmavatam is the self-realized soul. So how many words can we come up with that contain the word Atma?
Unlimitedly.
Unlimitedly?
Yeah.
And okay, that's a good response. And do you have some examples
Paramatma.
of that unlimited count?
Paramatma.
Paramatma. Yes, Paramatma is a distinction between the individual spirit soul and the supreme soul. Right.
Atma
Is that-
Bhakta.
What?
Atma Bhakta.
Atma Bhakto. Okay.
Yeah.
Atma Bhakto. Okay. And what does that mean?
You know, like I think there's many meaning to it, but the bhakti of the Atma. Oh, it's left. He left again.
Disconnect. You're just getting into the quiz. There's Atma Rama.
Atma Rama.
Atma Rama's Chamunaya.
Atma Bhakta, it's what verse of that word? Atma Bhakta.
There's a well-known verse.
Atma Nivedanam. Yeah.
Atma Nivedana.
Complete surrender of the Atma.
Okay, well, we can bring closure.
Do we wait for
We can wait another
Yogesvara? He's
some
coming
time.
back. Hare Krishna, Yogesvara Prabhu, you left us again.
Yes, I think it was for the last time. So
Okay.
one way or the other. So
But Parampara
Atma Bhakto is what?
Well, Atma Bhakta is come with many verses, but you know, the bhakti of the Atma, we can say.
Okay, nice. Then in chat we have Atmananda. So that's the bliss of the soul, right? Atmananda.
Yeah.
And more? At least two.
Yeah, dear Govinda had one too.
Well, Atma Rama's Chamunayo. Parampara wrote Atma Nivedanam, one of the 9 processes.
Nice. Yes. So there's the self-satisfied soul, Atma Rama. Atma Nivedana is the fully surrendered soul.
There's Atmavan, one who is self-realized, one who possesses the self.
Yes, nice. Yes. Yes. Nice. So, okay, that's good. That's more than I was thinking of. So that's a successful game. I'm not sure now if I wanted to do something more with it or not. Probably I. Yes, and I have one more. Prahlad Maharaj says, Tatsadu mane asura varja dehinam, sada samudvigna diyam asad grhat.
Hivatma patam.
Ano, Atma patam grham andakupam. So
Andakupam.
Atma patam, it's there. And does anyone know what Atma patam is?
Oh.
Hivatma patam griyamanda kupam.
Like
Vanam gatom
dark
yat
well.
harim ashrayeta.
The Andakupa is dark well,
Yes, blind well, yes.
blind well,
Blind well.
and then Atma
Family life.
Pata, like the fear.
Yeah, Atma patam is the translation is like the soul stops. The soul stops. So basically the conditioned souls falls in the blind well, and that means that that's like a stop of self-realization. Atma patam. So yes,
It's scary.
yeah. Okay, is there anything more you want to add?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your patience. It was fun. I was glad to discuss this, and I wish you a blissful rest of the day. Haribo.
Thank you very much, Yogesvara Prabhu. It was fun, and I'm sorry the internet wasn't stable.
It was my issue. So, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Haribo.
Haribol.
Krishna. Don't move to die, Krishna.